Hello? Happy Noneday. Noneday. Yay. Good afternoon or good morning, whatever is appropriate for you. Come on in. Here we go. I see people. Noneday. That means I have no glasses on. I hope I have them somewhere here on the desk. There's Marla. Hi, Marla. Hi, Deb. Happy Noneday. Kimberly. I'm starting to see a few people roll in. Come on in. The water's fine. We are all about Noneday today on Sunday. Today we're going to be talking about the fear of the unknown because I think that's a very relative thing. Hi, Sister Christine. How are you? Betsy? All my girls are coming in. Good to see you. It's good to see everyone. It's Margie. It's afternoon for me too. Hi, Joanne and Wendy. You guys come on in. We're getting a few people in this beautiful morning. And I promised you I am going to be showing you shortly a beautiful, beautiful, it's the Blue Ridge Parkway. We have the whole view of that. And it is absolutely just starting to pop. Not quite there, but we're getting there. And I promise you there's going to be I'll have a big show and I'm going to do a panoramic view and show you everything because it really is beautiful. I'm so glad you're here, Sue. Good to see you. So it is Noneday. Noneday is Sunday, and this is the day where we just let it all hang out. And usually I have no bra, no makeup, etc. We're going to go for a little hike in a minute, so I thought I would get myself cleaned up and ready to go in case we go into town. And I'm excited about that. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Barbara. Good to see everyone. Come on in. So, there's some glasses. Thank you. And I need my pink cloth. You should see these things. They are just awful. So, Marla's got these on BOGO, and they're almost gone. Grab them. The pink rags. And they just do a number on your glasses, people. I will be able to see now things that come up. Oh, goodness. Hey, Sandy. So today I want to talk about the fear of the unknown because don't we all have just a fear of the unknown? When we find ourselves saying, yeah, but usually means that we have either a fear of the unknown or we're know-it-alls or, every once in a while it's like we need to give you more information. But I have butted my way into a place where I have given myself, rationalized and put myself into a corner where I have nowhere to go. Yeah, but is an excuse. Yeah, but means you're not open to learning. And yeah, but keeps us locked in. So when I want to talk about the fear of the unknown, it's our unconscious brain that keeps us in this place of going, yikes, no. And we'll talk about that in just half a second. Okay, so let's think about those and think about those times in your life where you've sort of butted your way into a place where, you put yourself into a corner and you have nowhere to go. Think about that. So I want to share with you that tomorrow we are giving away a Saving Dinner for the Holidays book. This is a great book. It is, I think, I enjoyed writing it. Let me just put it to you this way. This book has menus, recipes, shopping lists, timelines, decoration, how to have family celebrations, everything that you can think of. We have everything in here from Hanukkah to Christmas to Thanksgiving to Passover to Halloween party. Lots of fun. And I enjoyed writing this book. As a matter of fact, in this book is the original Thanksgiving menu mailer, which I created, I don't even know how many years ago, but I created it many years ago, and it kind of takes you into the whole place of how to set up your holiday table, how to decorate for it using stuff from your yard and from actually from the dollar store or from the grocery store even, and just making things just really beautiful because sometimes it's, we get a little overwhelmed with all this stuff. And I want to just take the overwhelm out of the holidays. And that's what this book is about. Now, don't be going looking for keto or low carb recipes or anything else like that, or anything sugar-free. This is fully loaded. Fully loaded. You can make an adjustment though, easily. And as a matter of fact, if you watch our website in the first week of November, I will be giving out more of these. I will be giving out more information about our holiday menus. We have a Thanksgiving menu coming out the first week. You'll see it. I'll post it. I'll tell you about it next week. And it has the Thanksgiving menu, it has the paleo menu, and it's got the brand new keto Thanksgiving menu. So you have a choice. It also has a timeline. It also has a turkey triage troubleshooting thing and how to handle everything. And it has, I know it's got a bunch of other stuff in there too. So all of that's available for you, and it is free. It is on my website, and I will give you the link as soon as it's ready to go. Okay? I'm really excited about this new keto recipe stuff too, because it looks really, my daughter and I have been working on it together. It's so fun to work with your daughter. I have one more Saving Dinner, the Low Carb Way book, and that will be going out too, not next week. Next week I'm going to do the holiday book. I've had a lot of requests for that, so let's get that out. We'll get that out, and we'll also do the Low Carb Way. I mean, we've got everything, right? The other thing I wanted to do is I want to encourage you, if you are anywhere within our community of the sprint, or not even in the sprint, or just, you've just had the battle of the body clutter going on and you haven't yet read Body Clutter, you can pick this up anywhere. It's on Amazon, it's on Fly Lady's website, and this is the book that we wrote 15 years ago. 15 years ago. And it talks a lot about our addictions. Marla and I both uncover our addictions and talk about them, in a lot of detail, and what it meant to us and how it kept us in a place of being trapped. And I'm just telling you a minute ago about, butting yourself into a corner. Well, this is when we stopped the buts and we kind of just confronted and looked at our body clutter. But we also recognized that 15 years ago or 14 years ago, whenever it was a whole long, that's a long time ago. And the science has changed since then on nutrition for sure. And the other thing that's changed is our hearts and our bodies and our ages and our wisdom. And we've learned that there's a lot that we didn't know back then. And, I think what wise women do is wise women are open to understanding and are teachable, highly teachable. And that's how we have pursued this whole thing. We have pursued this whole new book, this whole new level of being highly teachable and opening ourselves up for more research and more interesting things. And I've been finding out things. I just can't even tell you, like, my research table is crazy, if you could see it, with everything that I'm using right now as we're writing this new book. The things that I'm learning and the things that then I am able to put on my own self have been incredible, because it's taken me to a whole new place of ahas. You know what our ahas do? Our ahas open doors. Our ahas give us brief glimpses of what's out there, what the possibilities are, and how we can develop and become better and more than we are right now. When we have this fear of the unknown, it's our unconscious brain that is picking into that mixed bag that we all have of experiences that might be, loneliness, fear of abandonment, anger, anger issues, other things. There's things attached, and our own experiences have shaped that. And we don't want to go back there. We don't want to touch those things again. It's, that was a hot stove. I don't want to be in there again. I don't want to burn myself again. We are very self-protective that way. But I want to offer you a different perspective that might help you to let go of all of that. Because when we let go of that, we start to understand that fear of abandonment was from when you were 4 years old. And I've talked about this before. Your 4-year-old self is much different than your grown-up self, and where you are now, and where you are where you're coming from right now. You don't have to fear being abandoned anymore. You've got a chance to talk to yourself in a grown-up fashion and to bring yourself back into the place of feeling good about where you are in your life, even if things aren't going the way you want them to. Has that ever happened to you before? Where even things even if things are kind of taking a slide and going down the wrong place, we still have that ability and that great responsibility to open our eyes and to see exactly what is going on. Because if we abandon ourselves in this place and we just leave it alone, what happens? We keep repeating the same thing over and over again. It's like Groundhog Day. And I'm sorry, but I've seen the movie a few times and it's a darling movie. I really don't care to see it again, nor do I want to have days that look like Groundhog Day where the same, you hear the alarm and Cher's and Sonny and Cher singing that song, I've Got You, Babe. You remember the movie, right? But we can live our lives like that, or we can say, aha, there it is again. There's that same pattern again. And here comes those fears again. And here comes, the whole get smart locking the doors thing again. And we just stay away from it. We stay away from it. We have those fears that keep us from, oh no, we're not going to go there again. But if we let this stuff go, will it come up again? Yeah, it will. But every time it comes up again, it has less and less power over ourselves. I think the big thing for me, at least this is my own discovery, is that the more I confronted it, the more I flipped the switch on and turned the light on to the darkness, the less scary those boogeymen were, the less scary they were. And if we can pull the plug from the fear and confront the things that are in our lives, the more we're going to be able to go forward with what we want to do in our lives. And that includes everything from dealing with your body clutter to dealing with whatever's going on in your life, your career, your family. We become brave. We become courageous, and we're no longer afraid of using our voice. One of the things that held me back for so many years, and I believe this is so connected to when I started having my thyroid issues. I remember when I was first diagnosed with having, this blown up thyroid was right when I went through my separation from my husband and my kids. And, I was trying to deal with them and the whole complexity of all of that. And it was a really messed up time. And Marla remembers this. I mean, if it wasn't for her, I just really don't know how I would have gotten through it. This is when we wrote Body Clutter, by the way, too. And I just remember that the fear factor and the dealing with all of this, I remember the tightness in my throat and this tightness in my stomach and just being scared. And in 3 months, I gained 10 pounds a month, and that was 30 pounds at the end of those 3 months. And I knew something was wrong. And that's when I went and saw the doctor, of course. And they, finally came to the conclusion that I had blown out my thyroid, essentially, and I needed thyroid medication and all of that. And thus began that roller coaster, which took me a lot of years before I finally got on top of that. But that was, as I look back on that now, that was many, many layers of being fearful. That was many layers of not speaking the truth, not confronting what needed confronting in my life, and not having the confidence in my own voice to say what it is that I needed. When we don't say what it is that we need in our lives, we find ourselves, again, in a corner. We find ourselves with no power. And we find ourselves doing the same thing over and over again and hoping that this time it's going to be different. And it's not. What happens is that we get more and more frustrated and we become more and more doubtful of and don't believe in ourselves and don't believe in our power and don't believe anything except that our circumstances are taking us down. We go from being hopeful to being hopeless. And instead of, and we become powerless. So when we understand and we go back and step back and look at the big picture and understand that we can go from being pitiful into being powerful, then things change. Things start to change. But we have to understand exactly, as Joyce Meyer said in that quote, which is, you can be powerful or you can be pitiful, but you can't be both. You're making a choice to be powerful. And that powerfulness will take you to a whole new level and help you find your voice, help you find your confidence, help you face the fear, and help you to start sorting this stuff out. I look at it sometimes, it's like sorting your laundry, right? You're not going to put a towel in with the dark socks. The white towel with the dark socks and bleach is going to be a bad thing today. I promise you it'll be a bad thing. This is not how we sort those things out. We sort those things out by confronting things and just saying, okay, so these are the black socks, these are the towels. They need to go in separate piles and they need to be treated differently and they need to be dealt with one load at a time. And that's how it is with us. We get impatient with ourselves and we just want to go forward and we just want to keep going and we just want to say, ignore what all of this stuff is, but we can't. When we ignore what's going on in ourselves, we don't get an opportunity to repair it. And we don't get an opportunity to have a community around us to help us to understand that we're okay and that we can go forward and that we can deal with these things one thing at a time. One of the biggest things that helped me to finally get my voice back was just to step back and just to take a look and to acknowledge that I was in pain and to acknowledge that I had a lot of things that needed sorting out. But I had to deal with one thing at a time. And the first thing that I had to deal with was my health. I could barely walk across the room. I had plantar fasciitis so bad that every step made me almost, I did wince and I almost cried. I had rosacea on my face like crazy. Marla has pictures of that, of just continence. Now, these are all different periods of time, but it was just this accumulation of garbage because I couldn't look at anything. I was unable to. And again, I had no voice. But I found my voice as I started taking care of myself. That was one of the biggest keys. I started getting the rest that I needed. I started taking baths every day and just having an Epsom salt bath and meditating and believing that God was there for me, that I wasn't on my own, and that all of these things could be dealt with one small step at a time. This is what baby steps are about, and baby steps apply to every facet of your life, whether it's the unconscious, painful garbage that you have to deal with, or it's getting your house cleaned up. But the thing that we have to look at is that if we try to deal with everything in our overwhelmed, over everything mindset, we lose it. And we lose our ability to get through all of it. We lose our ability to figure out our path. And we all have a path. It is one teeny tiny step at a time. Luann's asking me how I got rid of plantar fasciitis. I lost about 70 pounds. That helped. Plantar fasciitis is an inflammation thing. And part of it is that you have to roll the fascia in your feet, get all tight and wound up. Roll them out. Get a golf ball and roll them out. That'll help. But also take a hot bath with Epsom salts. That'll help. And also lose the weight. Massively, that will help. It's interesting to me as I look at all the things that people do in order to get rid of whatever the symptom is without getting down to the root cause of it. And the root cause of it, and my doctor was very blunt with me. And she said, well, look at you. You're over 200 pounds. Of course you have these problems. So getting rid of the weight was the be all end all, and it did it. But also stretching all that stuff out helped as well. But at the end of the day, it's inflammation. That's what we're looking at. It's inflammation. And inflammation, in my belief system, inflammation is the mother of everything. We can look at that. Inflammation gives us pain. Inflammation causes lots of different diseases. And inflammation is what blew out my thyroid. Period. Inflammation is what made my skin look like I had two continents sitting on either cheek. Inflammation was what was in my feet. Inflammation was what was in my hips and hurt my hips so bad that, I could barely stand it in bed. Inflammation. And I think we have thoughts, inflamed thoughts. And I think, something that we look at that could be just a little thing or just a thing becomes much bigger because our brains are inflamed too, and our thoughts just go on fire. And we see it as being something that's completely untenable and something that we can never solve. And when we have that kind of an attitude, our brains are happy to help prove us true, help prove that it's true, because our brain is it's, David Bayer calls it a goal, a goal, what does he call it? A goal, something machine, but he's a goal suppressing or a goal something machine. I can't remember exactly what he says, but in other words, we are always happy to make sure that what we're thinking about comes about. And Rita Davenport says that what you think about comes about, right? So what does that mean? That means that we have to, at the end of the day, take a look at what our brain is telling us. Is this too much? Is this overwhelming? Is this going to be, the be all end all? Or is this something that you need to take care of and do right now? Or is it too much for you? What are you telling yourself about this? Are you telling yourself that your fear, your loneliness, your neediness, or whatever is too overwhelming and too polarizing, and it's just going to keep you handcuffed? And but you can't do a thing about it. Or are you going to do something different? We always need to do things. We always need to take a look at this of what is it that we can do in order to take the power out of these horrible thoughts that keep us just frozen in fear. And there's always an opportunity to do that. There's always an opportunity. I'm lonely. I'm needy. I feel like I have nothing. What can we do about that? Well, we can start by finding ourselves a community. We can start by reaching out. We can start by finding meetup groups in our area. We can start with a hobby. We can start taking walks every day. We can start with something. But if we stay in our fear, if we believe that we are just rationalized into a little corner and that we have nothing to go with, then that's what our bodies are going to do. That's what our brain is going to do. Because our brain believes that this is the goal. That's not what it is, though, is it? Because we have this fight between what our heart wants and what our brain is going out to achieve. So we have to start flipping the switch on our thoughts and get out of the fear mindset and get into the empowered place, one little baby step at a time, with one little thing, one little action. It makes all the difference in the world. I know that when we dare to believe something different, little baby new thoughts start to pop, pop, pop in our head. And if we're smart, we're going to listen to those things. We're going to listen to those things because you know what happens? When we start to listen to those things, there's new things that always come in. Oh, I love what you just said, Nancy. She said she's always waiting for the perfect time to start. And that is a lie. There's a lie to that, isn't there? There is no perfect time. And when we have that attitude of waiting for the perfect time, we're going to be waiting for a very, very long time because we will not see perfection this side of paradise. We will not. I think a perfect time to start is Monday, like tomorrow. It's time to get off your duff and do something. We can at any moment say, hey, yeah, you know what? I can do it right now. I can do it right now today. I can dare to believe that it is time to start today. I can believe that. I can believe in just this little thing, and that little thing can be just the thing that you need to tip over this whole depressing bag of stuff that you have believed about yourself, maybe even your whole life. We can get rid of this stuff, you guys. That's the whole point of what I'm saying. Just because you hold this huge fear factor in your head doesn't have to stop you. You know what you should do right now? Acknowledge it. Hey, fear, I see you. And I see all the things that are attached to you. but you're not holding me back anymore because I believe in doing the next thing. I believe in the light. I believe in God. I believe in my community. I believe in myself. I believe in my power. And as a matter of fact, I believe in magic, right? Because logic only gives woman what she wants, and magic gives her what she needs. Oh, it's the other way around. Acknowledge your fear and make it smaller than it is. By pretending it doesn't exist, we're constantly in a battle, an unknown battle with an unknown foe. But when we confront it and we're big girls and we put up our big girl panties, things start to happen because now we see a way to chisel down the enemy. We see a way to shoot it up, right? You have to understand something, that for every action that you take or don't take, depending on what it is, you are bringing down your enemy. And that enemy sometimes is your own fear. And it's old stuff that has been from 100 years ago, and you have the ability to confront it. I shared with you my whole mind-blowing thing about my whole fear of abandonment and how it was affecting my relationship and has in the past of relationships. Fear of abandonment is a huge one. It's a big one for women, and it happens for good reason. So that's not to take away from what happened. But certainly if we live that over and over and over again, we're giving it all the power. But when we say, okay, we're going to put that aside and look at what we can do going forward, then we start to live powerfully, one baby step at a time. Baby steps. That's such a powerful concept because that every little inch, every little piece, every little way of going up is a way of going, is keeping you from going back. Who was this that just said that? Robin just said, I'm afraid of being rejected. So am I, Robin. So am I. So is Christine. I think we're all afraid of being rejected. Can we just all say, yes, I'm afraid of being rejected? We get rejected. Not the first time. I mean, it probably won't be the last time. Maybe you were the last one picked for a team. It happens. But let's take the power out of rejection, should we? For a minute? Here's the thing about rejection. You could be rejected, but there's a place for you to be accepted. Let's look at the flip side. We've all been rejected in some point, right? Haven't you had your heart broken by some man? Haven't you had your heart broken by even your children? Haven't you felt rejection in some big way? I have. We all have. But like Marla just said, right? Let's accept ourselves, and also let's look for our tribe, our community, and understand that there's a place of acceptance, always. Our hurts do not have to define us. Our fears don't have to define us. The definition that we give ourselves is that we should be giving ourselves that we're powerful, we're not pitiful, and that we're warriors. We're warriors. Della's saying, I feel the same way, rejected and abandoned. Okay, Della, are you ready to give that up? So that's my question for you today. It's Sunday, Noneday, right? Are you ready to give up rejected and abandoned? Are you ready to give up anger? Are you ready to give up all these things that have held you back for so long and confront them? Are you ready to give yourself a voice? Are you ready to acknowledge your own power? Are you ready to do something about all of this? Now, not all at one time, not in a way that's going to blow up the world, but in a way that's going to make your life better. If you are sitting here right now thinking about all of this and going, you know what? Yeah, my life, this is it. Then think how today, and I want you to do this. This is your assignment as we wrap this up. Your assignment right now is to write down what you can do right now today to make your life better. What can you do? because you are not powerless. You're not pitiful. You're not without remedy. No one is. Every single person here who is listening to this, this broadcast has the power and the ability to bring in the things that you need in order to go forward, period. And sometimes that means we need to leave the past behind. We need to leave the past behind, even if it's unresolved. You know, have you ever been in the place of having things that you just couldn't resolve? Well, I have. And guess what? Talking about it endlessly is not going to resolve it, ever. And when you have people in your life that will not forgive you, or you've sought forgiveness, or you can't get past it, or whatever, you got to give it up. It's just it. And you got to give them up. The people that don't want you in their lives, they don't want you in their lives. Fine, go, next. You've got more to do than sit there and wring your hands and worry about them. You can't. And that includes everyone. Everyone. As hard as it is, as difficult as it is, you let them go. Along with all those emotions that go with it, you let it go. And you bless them on their way. And you work on yourself. It's the only thing that you have power over. Amen? It's the only thing you have power over. You have power over what you think. You have power over what you do. And that's the thing that you need to hold on to with both hands and take to the next level. Because if you do that, things will get better. If you do that, good things will start to come in your life. Will it resolve these things in the past? I don't know. Will it? I don't know. Maybe. Or at least you'll feel better about it. You know, sometimes we just can't tie up all the loose ends. But what we can do is we can work on ourselves. And we can look at ourselves and look for the power within to take these things off our plate and to put some new stuff on there and go forward. God is never going to leave you. He's never going to forsake you. He's never going to leave you on your own. And you know what? Your tribe is waiting for you. If you're here, you're part of my tribe. And I'll tell you what, you're welcome. You're welcome to be here. And I'm glad you're here. You know, we do things in amazing leaps and bounds on the sprint. And it's starting again November 4th. So if you go to savemedinner.com/sprint, join us for this. It's free. 100% free. And we go to the next level. We take no prisoners. Not even ourselves. You know, God is good all the time. He's never going to leave you. He's never going to abandon you. And he loves you more than anything in the world, with all your hurts, with all your foibles, with all your things. But he also wants you to give it up. You know, you have a purpose here on this earth, and you have to give up things so that you can pursue your purpose. It's that simple. So today I'm saying to you, be a powerful woman. Pick up the power that's within. Trust in your God. Believe in him. Believe in yourself and go forward. All the things that are happening over here, all this unconscious brain mixed bag, fear, blah, 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 all of those things can be dealt with one thing at a time. But don't let them hold you back. You don't need the answers today. You know what you need? You need the belief in yourself. That's what you need. Believe in yourself. The power is there. That's a big message. And if you can hold on to that, you can accomplish anything you want in your life. I promise. Nothing will hold you back when you believe. Nothing. That's a big word. So hold on to that, write it down, and start believing. Because God will never leave you. He will never forsake you. You're here for a purpose, and don't you dare forget it. Okay? Cool. Peace out, guys. I will see you for tea today at 3 o'clock. And thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate you guys. Bye.